Folks, I am coming at you with a breaking news alert. In an unexpected turn of events, Call of Duty and Activision have released a blog post explaining their matchmaking.
What is going on?
It's done, folks. I had to do the fun little thing in the beginning to do that, but it's done, folks. They've done it. I never thought that they would come, but they did. I literally had a video ready to go today saying, oh, they're never going to do it. It's been 2 months. They haven't said a word. And then all of a sudden, boom, bang, here's their blog post. What does it say? It's words. It has words that sort of explain the matchmaking. Is it what I would have loved to have? No, but is it what you can expect? Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't expect anything. I thought they would just kind of play it out and not do anything, but they put out a blog post, so that's something. I skimmed the blog post briefly, and it seems to say a lot of things, but also not much at the same time. And also, I'm like Lil Wayne. I don't write shit because I ain't got time, because my seconds, minutes, hours go to you, the people, the community. And if you're not a part of our little community here, 125 and growing, please hit the subscribe button below. It would be greatly appreciated. We'd love to have you. And we just enjoy games. That's what we do. We enjoy games, or we try at least. You know, if we get upset, we get upset, but we enjoy games. Anywho, let's get into the blog post. January 29th, 2024. By Call of Duty staff. With the launch of Modern Warfare number 3 Season 1 late last year, we committed to a conversation with our community about matchmaking. Yes, they did. They said in the coming weeks, folks, it took them 2 months. 2 months. I guess it's sort of right in that if they took 2 more weeks, it's a bit too much, but we'll give them 8 weeks, right? They have a little chart here. They have a chart that shows their matchmaking process. Now, they have connection at the top, and they say at some point, ping is king, didn't Folks, it's a bunch of baloney. It's a bunch of baloney. There have been several videos showing that connection, the better you do, the worse your connection is. So, I mean, connection may be up there, but it's obviously not as important as skill and making sure that you stay at about that 1 KD, 1 win loss, just so that other people don't get upset and quit the game so they can continue to stay in the game and spend money. We'll keep going with this, folks. We'll keep going. They also have on this list playlist diversity, recent maps/modes, input device, voice chat, platform, skill/performance, and time to match. Now, connection, as it says here, as the community will attest, ping is king. It's not the top priority when you are constantly winning, when you're constantly doing well. It will push down the connection in the level of importance so that you aren't doing too good. Input device, I guess they're going to try and put people they're going to try and put people on controller with people on controller and PC with PC. I guess keyboard and mouse with keyboard and mouse. I should just say PC. They basically are just saying they want full good matches with people in them. They tell people any form of matchmaking takes time. If the wait time in a lobby is excessively long, players typically recycle the process by canceling out the matchmaking search and restarting it, or even quitting. This does not quicken the matchmaking process, and in fact can even be detrimental. So they're basically saying, don't back out, because then then the matchmaking doesn't work well, and we may have to filter players in here and there. But I've also heard that if you back out of games, it will take that as I'm not having fun and then put you in easier lobbies. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't play multiplayer anymore because I just don't have fun with it. Mostly because of this, because I think the matchmaking makes the game not as fun, and a whole bunch of other things with the game just aren't as fun as they used to be, in my opinion. So here's where they kind of get into the connection thing a little bit. Whether you're playing for fun, with friends, or looking to climb the leaderboards, connection is the most important part of the online Call of Duty experience. Connection dictates the speed at which the game can transfer information from every player to and from our servers. And then they say, to reiterate, we always try to maximize the times we place players in data centers or data, whatever your preference. I don't know why I said data first. I usually say data, I think. But anywho, centers that are closest to them. We usually try. Now, we usually try is sort of like most of the time you're going to be put with people that will have a similar connection, in the same area as you, but they kind of give that vague language so that they can then put you across the ocean with a bunch of people who have a much better connection than you. Then we get into the skill portion of the deal. Measuring skill for matchmaking. While skill is one of several factors in Call of Duty multiplayer matchmaking, we know the community wants more information about how it fits into the process. That is, in fact, what we have wanted for months and years, folks, and we're finally getting it. Skill is determined based on a player's overall performance, kills, deaths, wins, losses, and more. Of course, there's more, including mode selection in recent matches as an overall metric across all multiplayer experiences. This is a fluid measurement that's consistently updating and reacting to your gameplay. Skill is not only a factor in matchmaking players against appropriate enemies, but also when finding teammates. Yes, because if you're doing too good, they have to put you with horrible teammates so that they can nerf you and let the other people who you're playing against have a better experience, because they expect you to carry the team and still go about even, and then you're all okay. You're all fine. My hat just slowly keeps cruising back. Maybe I'll just... Call of Duty has historically considered player performance, among other factors, as part of our matchmaking process. Our work in this area dates back as early as Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare in 2007. Not the 2019 one that they tried to use nostalgia to get people to buy the game. Also 2022 and 2023, that you did the same thing with Modern Warfare's number 2 and number 3, respectively. Now, the thing is, the matchmaking back then, no one complained about it, but they kept fixing it and adjusting it and doing all these tests that they say they're doing anyway. They kept going after it and fixing it, changing it so that you can keep people who aren't good playing the game, and then they buy your bundles, they do all these different things when you monetize every aspect of the game. But anyway, the matchmaking back then, you had a variety of skills on each team. Now, they might have had skill as a factor when they're putting you into teams, but you also... there was a much more diverse scene on each team, because you had good players, you had bad players, you had middle players, and then it would balance the teams instead of just saying everyone in the lobby is this one skill level. I like that the best. I don't know why they went away from it. I don't like that, but they did, and that's what we have to deal with. And if we don't, I'm going to get to this later, but if we don't like that, the old games are still there. We can go back and play the old games anytime we want. Skill is implemented across the video game industry, and we recognize that continuous refinement is required to deliver the best possible experience for our players. No one was complaining about the matchmaking before, so you don't, like, it's one of these things where they're changing things that people don't care about. Like, they added that dumb little menu in the top right corner of the screen that's like, you got shot this many times by this person, and then you look at it and you're like, is my connection just that bad, or is your game weird? Like, what's going on? Because I get shot like 3 times by some guy, and it says he hit me 13 times, and I'm like, well... I put 7 shots into the guy, and it's just a weird deal. I don't understand why they're putting that stuff in there. They're putting all these weird things in the game that no one really wants or asks for, but they're changing the things that people always enjoyed, like the old create-a class systems, the perk system, and the matchmaking. I never heard anyone complain about the matchmaking. If they did, let me know, but I never heard of it. We use player performance to ensure that the disparity between the most skilled player in the lobby and the least skilled player in the lobby isn't so vast that players feel their match is a waste of time. Our data on player outcomes clearly indicates that the inclusion of skill in Call of Duty multiplayer matchmaking process as it currently stands, of course, they have to say as it currently stands. In the past, everyone had issues with this, and people quit out of games, and no one played the game. No one played the game years ago. Now they're having so many more people play the game, which, if from what I've seen, there is a vast decline. People play it for a little while, and then they just stop playing. Once again, my hat is just wandering away, sliding up my forehead as if it's trying to run away from me. Our multiplayer matchmaking process increased the variety of outcomes experienced by players of all skill levels. In other words, all players, regardless of skill level, are more likely to experience wins and losses more proportionately. Our data shows, that when lower skill players are consistently on the losing end, they're likely to quit matches in progress or stop playing altogether. This has an effect on the player pool. A smaller player pool means wait times for matches increase and connection may not be as strong as they should be. This can compound over time to create a spiral effect eventually when only high-skilled players remain because lower-skilled players have quit out of frustration. The result is an ecosystem that is worse overall for everyone. Now, this is where they say, without coming out and saying, we want to protect bad players because we want them to stay in the game. They're almost saying, like, we want to save the player pool and we want people to keep playing the game, so we are going to protect the bad players. But if you keep the bad players in one spot and the good players don't know that the bad players are there, then no one knows who all's anywhere, because like if you folks, I don't know what's going on. If you keep the bad players playing by only putting them in matches with their own skill level, people who aren't good at the game, then the good players are still only getting put with the good players. So if it's only the good players who are left, then they wouldn't even realize any difference, because they're the only ones there and they're the only ones they're getting matched with anyway. The only thing might be that there's a longer wait time. But like, I can hop into Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the original one, get in a game in about 10 seconds. Faster than Call of Duty Modern Warfare number 2 or number 3. You know, you're going to be able to get into a game. They just want the bad players to stay in the game, do okay, so then they can sit in there, buy their bundles, because we know that a lot of these people who play the game, they may be good, they may be bad, are children. Call of Duty, well, Warzone. I was at Walmart the other day, and I saw Warzone bed sheets. And for a rated M game, which, you know, I know kids have played, you know, I played before I was 18. Everyone plays Call of Duty before they're 18, but to just blatantly go out there and advertise to children, because I'm going to be like, just throw out a random guess. If you are, I'm probably going to go a little late and say 13. If you are 13 and above, you are not going to get Warzone bed sheets. And if you are 14 and have Warzone bed sheets, please let me know, because I'm super curious. I just don't know exactly where that line would be that people would say, you know, I don't really want Warzone bed sheets. I think that's a little weird, a little something. But who knows? It may be super popular. Maybe they're sold out, like they sold out of that crossbody slingback that was $60 for a camo. I don't know. They just try and make excuses to say that we are going to protect bad players. And they try and make it come across as we're helping everyone with putting bad players with only bad players. And like, the thing is, I'm not great. Like, I've always been about a 1.4 KD, probably if you average every game out, about a 1.4. So like above average, but like, I'm nothing great. I've just had fun playing the game for a long time, and it kind of sucks to get into the game now and have the matchmaking be one of those things where I can't just relax and have fun. Like, me at my skill level, every once in a while, I could pop off and have a good game. Now that just never happens. When I was playing the beta of Modern Warfare number 3, I tested it out on a new account, and I got in. First game on a brand new account, I went 45-8. Second game, went double negative. Third game went like 23-20. So this matchmaking works very fast, puts you in skill levels that are just boom, right there. It works quick. They say game data/data indicates that having some limitations on the disparity of skill across the players in a match makes for a healthier ecosystem. We also understand that many high-skill players want more variety of experience, but often feel like they only get the sweatiest of lobbies, because they do. Because when you put sweaty players and people who are actually good at the game with other people who are sweaty and good at the game, that's what you get. Or like, everyone feels like their lobbies are sweaty because they're only playing with people who are at their same skill level. We've heard this feedback clearly and will continue to test and actively explore ways to mitigate this concern. They say they've been testing for years, and so they're just going to continue to do exactly what they've been doing, which in my opinion has only made the game worse, but what are you going to do? But yeah, so the first part is just trying to say, because I think they had so many people saying that the connection isn't the biggest thing, and they're like, no, connection is the biggest thing. We want you to be in good games. Usually we try and put you in games with a good connection. Unless you're doing too well, then we kind of have to nerf you a little bit by giving you worse teammates, giving other people better teammates, or putting you across the ocean in a different country and having your connection be far worse than everyone else's in the lobby. Like, but this is the stuff obviously they can't say, but it's kind of been proven that a lot of this stuff is happening, and it just makes the game not fun. It's kind of a predatory way to have people all be at the same skill level, and then when they put out a new bundle with a gun that's supposed to be really good, everyone goes and buys it because they need that gun leveled up with the best attachments to even compete. And then people pay another $20 to $30 for this bundle that is absolutely useless. And then they're going to nerf the gun in a month because everyone complains about it. It's this cycle that doesn't stop, and people just, I think people either need to stop playing the game, like someone like me. I don't enjoy the game anymore. I've basically stopped playing everything except for Warzone. I can go back and play the old games if I want to, because Call of Duty was released every year, and every year we always thought we want something better, we want something new, and we thought we were going to get that every single year. We thought this next game is going to be better. It's going to take what we had from this game, it's going to build upon it, it's going to be better, and we're going to enjoy this one more. And then it kind of, they were always good, good, good. And then the quality went downhill, everything went downhill, then it got weird. And now it's not what it used to be. So my sort of call to action for people out there who don't like the way things are is to just say, go back to the old games. Modern Warfare 2, 3, Black Ops 1 and 2 and 3, all those games are still great, and there are people playing them, and you can get into games. So if you are trying to wait for Activision and Call of Duty to advance and make these moves and make these games kind of like they were before or similar, you don't have to wait for it. You can just go back and play it. I know we all got used to just getting the new game, and the old one it's not really like it's there anymore, but we can go back and we can play them and we can have fun. And then the second half was, we just want to protect bad players, because if they get beat too bad, then they will quit. My first game of Call of Duty multiplayer ever, I had completed the campaign on Veteran in Modern Warfare 2, completed the campaign on Veteran, went through a bunch of Spec Ops, thought I was the man. I thought I was going to dominate. Okay? And I was humbled quickly and aggressively with such haste and vigor that I was astounded. But I didn't just quit the game, which I think a lot of people would kind of do. I don't know if it's just a sort of a lesson about the way society is now and the way that I guess younger people are now, that if it gets hard, they just quit. But like, I kind of thought, I want to get better and I want to be able to compete with my friends who I was playing the game with, who now none of them really play the game anymore because they don't have fun anymore playing the game. And sure, some of that could be just age. You've played so much of it, you get tired of it. But like, we played Warzone 1 until it got shut down. We enjoyed Warzone 1 until it got shut down. And we would like to play Call of Duty. We can still go back and play the old ones and enjoy them. But it would be kind of nice to have this new Call of Duty that's a nice new experience that everyone can play and enjoy. A few more random things that I just found hilarious at the end. They had community questions, and I brought up some of these in previous videos. And a few people have left comments talking about these, but just a few of them. Does Call of Duty consider player engagement, time played, as a factor in matchmaking? They say, we do not consider how often or how much you play when determining matchmaking. They basically went through a whole bunch of random like conspiracy theory type things that people were saying about their matchmaking because they gave them so long to just let their minds wander, that they had to come in here and actually say that some of this stuff wasn't true, because so many people are still going to think that it's true. I guarantee you, people are so in their positions now because they took so long and because of the way the game is, that people aren't going to give up these opinions, these thoughts about the game. But I just love these. I think they're hilarious. Does the Call of Duty matchmaking process impact any in-game elements such as hit registration, player visibility, aim assist, damage, etc.? No. Our matchmaking does not impact gameplay elements. That was the gameplay fog, skill-based fog, skill-based hit detection, all these other things that people were claiming was a thing. Does spending money on Call of Duty content such as bundles, Battle Pass, or Black Cell change how players are matched? Money spent does not in any way, shape, or form factor into matchmaking. Now, some of these things, does Call of Duty use bots in multiplayer? No, it says that they do not use bots as part of the general matchmaking process. If this changes in the future, we will inform the community. This is the one thing, though, out of these, at least these first few, that they sort of left open to where maybe we might put some bots in the future. Who really knows? If they do, that's going to be wild. And then it kind of just goes into, have you ever thought about removing skill-based matchmaking? They say, oh, we've kind of looked into it, but then it's the same sort of stuff that's said through the whole thing. Our experiments and our testing and all these things just prove that the matchmaking right now is the best matchmaking for everybody, which I think is very debatable. But that also is just my opinion. You know, I don't know what the deal is, and like I said, I'm fine going back and playing the old games, and I think a lot of us probably should, instead of just sitting here and like just being so upset and hating this new game. We can just go back and play the old games that we actually love to play. But yeah, folks, that's it for me right now. I mean, we got something. We actually got something, and I'm surprised that we did. They said probably as much as they really can, because you can't go out here and say, like, oh yeah, our motives are strictly we want people to spend more money in the game. Because obviously, that's what they want. It's a business at the end of the day, and they want people to spend money. But when you're just focused on getting people to buy bundles, it just decreases the fun factor of the game. And, you know, drove me and a lot of other people that I know and people that I don't know away. But yeah, so if you enjoyed, please like the video, share your thoughts, but please, I encourage you to keep it civil and substantive. Yeah, subscribe if you haven't. Like I said before, we are a growing little community and we'd love to have you. I appreciate the absolute heck out of you for checking out the video, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.